Well, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that it literally does not work. So let's get open for business and let's wake up those football gods here on this hump day. It is the middle of the week, and it is a great time to be alive because the Dallas Cowboys, they're literally everywhere. I can understand why people hate the Dallas Cowboys so much, because here it is. It's crazy because if, let's say you're a New York Jet fan, you're not getting the coverage like you do with the Dallas Cowboys. Here it is. We've got 3 of our preseason games. We got more preseason games than anybody else. You got 3 of your preseason games nationally televised. You got them on Hard Knocks. Hell, we talking about practice being broadcasted. Everywhere you go, it's Cowboys, Cowboys, Cowboys in your face. And if you're not a Cowboy fan, you're like, damn, I wish I could see my team. And you can't. And herein lies the blessing and the curse for the Dallas Cowboys, because you see everything about the Cowboys. It's micromanaged to the point where the Cowboys are looked at deeper than any other team in the NFL. They're scrutinized on everything. You know, you would think that the Dallas Cowboys were the only team not to win the Super Bowl every year, that all the other teams are doing things perfect and that there's no mistakes by any of them, only the Dallas Cowboys. In reality, there's only one Super Bowl winning team a year. I know it's been a long time for us, but they are doing like everybody else. At the end of the season, there's 31 teams that realize that their season wasn't a success. And they all go back to the drawing board and try to rectify the problems. I think the Cowboys have done the best job that they could. I think they've got a good team on the field. I think that they are definitely pointed in the right direction. And I hope that this is going to be the team that takes us back to another level. Now, it's kind of crazy because I feel like there's blood in the water right now, that the Sharks are literally circling. Every day, there's a new article about Jaylon Smith. And here we go. Cowboys must face the fact that Jaylon Smith's best days are behind him. And saying that a guy who's as young as he is, that his best days are behind him, that's not a good thing. Now, I want to clarify something here, because what always happens with me is if I question a player, if I put out there what's being said, I am deemed a hater. That, oh, you just don't like him. It's not a matter of being personal, like or dislike. There's lots of players that I love, but I don't look for them to play right now. I love Roger Staubach. But am I a hater because I say Roger Staubach can't play? He can't. Can't lead America's team right now. You have to go by the reality. And what happens too many times with us as fans is, excuse me, I've got a little bit of a cold. What happens with us as fans is we think about what happened and transpired before, not where the player is now. This is why some people say, oh, sign Richard Sherman because, what he did with the Legion of Boom, but that was a long time ago. This is the same reason why people say, let's sign RG3. He's a better backup than Garrett Gilbert, when RG3 hasn't had a good season since 2013. You're going by reputation and what you have seen in the past, but not watching the film of what's going on today. And just like a boxer can immediately become punch drunk, it's the same thing with a football player. A football player can all of a sudden rise, boom, and end up being great, and then for whatever reason, tail off real quickly. And I'm not saying that Jaylon Smith is done. I'm not. But you have to look at the situation out here of, can you afford to say, let's roll the dice and see if he is or isn't? Because inadvertently, this is what happens to the Cowboys too many times is we tend to hold on to players too long. We always say we can't live without that guy, or we don't want somebody else to get him, and then he comes back and haunts us. But turnover is the key in the NFL. It's about letting that player who's getting older, that's slowing down, move on, and having a younger person go in there. Again, what I really hope is that Jaylon Smith takes the criticism that he hears. I don't know if he does social media. I don't know if he feels the pressure out there on the practice field or not, and in the games and things. But this is where you get introspective. You take what's being said and you evolve it and turn it into something else, and you come out as a tear. We all love a story of redemption, that, person goes through holy hell and they turn it around and they become great. We all love that, and I'm hoping for that as well. But in the meantime, the Cowboys have to be prepared that maybe his best days are behind him. And this isn't about hate. In the same way that I said, as people kept saying, we got to re-sign Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant, bring him back. It's not about me hating Dez Bryant. I looked at where we are with Dez Bryant after getting the contract. His body, because of his game that he played, his body began to fail him. And you looked at that from the standpoint and say, if you're beginning to have some injuries on a regular basis, they don't just all of a sudden end. They will continue to be there. I said the same thing about Tony Romo. Tony Romo, I love Tony Romo. Tony Romo, when Tony Romo was healthy, was one of the best quarterbacks out there. Tony Romo was let down, I believe, by coaching and sometimes the defensive things, as well as some bad calls. But when Tony Romo got to the point where you had to worry of, is he going to be able to make it through the season? Your best ability is your availability, and that's why it was time to move on. It wasn't about me hating Tony Romo, but you have to start thinking about football with your head and not your heart. It's a cold, cold business. And I've got to go pick up my daughter because she's getting her tires changed. Honey, I'm leaving right now. All right, finishing my video. No problem. All right, sorry for that interruption. When you become a father, you're always a father, no matter what age they become. On another note, if you watched CeeDee Lamb last night on Hard Knocks, CeeDee was definitely one of the stars of the show last night. And CeeDee said, it's nice to go on social media and see yourself or your work. It's nice, but I'm not satisfied. I want more. I love that. But you got to be careful with social media. It's all love fest right now, but let there be a game where you just have a bad game. That will turn on you real quick. So be careful, CeeDee, about social media. Now, he also admitted there's a lot of pressure in wearing the number 88 for the Cowboys. I want to exceed all expectations. And you got to look at this and say, yeah, 88 with Drew Pearson now being in the Hall of Fame. The original 88, Mr. Hail Mary, who also caught the orange, by the way. If you watch the clip of the Hail Mary, you'll see the orange going through there, and Drew says he caught the orange. I'm just putting it out there. He said he did. I'm not going to say he's a liar. Then you got Michael Irvin, who took the torch onto 3 Super Bowls. And then you got Dez Bryant, who ended up being a really, really great receiver, having Cowboys records. So you are now living in the shadow of those guys. Now, we talking about practice, but CeeDee Lamb is literally making catch after catch after catch. It was almost comical to me last night on my live stream because I'm sitting here, looking at the chats, and I had an Eagle fan that came through and said, "Did you see Jalen Reagor's catch in practice?" And I was like, "You mean the one-handed catch he made?" Yeah, it was nice. And then we had one of our typical troll haters in here. "Oh, you guys go crazy about, CeeDee Lamb and catching." It's like, yeah, but see, CeeDee Lamb makes one of those spectacular catches every day. Sometimes a couple of those crazy catches every day. And if you're trying to compare Jalen Reagor getting one-handed catch in practice to what you've seen already from CeeDee Lamb, as well as what he did last year. Remember that catch in the end zone where it literally was like the Matrix? No. Until he did a 360 in the air to catch the ball and come down for a touchdown. Haters are going to hate. All right, so with that being said, I'm going to be on with our coaches a little bit later, my thoughts on them after watching them on Hard Knocks and trying to figure out who is going to be your favorite coach for the Dallas Cowboys this year? You know, is it Mike McCarthy? Is it going to be Bones Fossil? You know, is it going to be, of course, my man Dan Quinn? You know, from what you've seen, you're getting a little bit more of a taste of the coaches because of Hard Knocks. Who's going to be your favorite one? You know pretty much who mine's going to be, but we'll still go through them. And with that being said, you know how we roll.
Thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to